and profile. I'm on their profile, and sorry, give me 1 second. That kind of threw me off. Yep. So I'm on their reservation and profile team. I've maintained their app on a day-to-day basis. Touch React, CI/CD pipelines, Java, C#, Node.js, which would consider a full stack developer. So we support a lot of the functionality, and where owners book their flights and they can reserve their flights on there. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, about the application we work on. So we build the application, but then we have an entire DevOps team and IPA team who are responsible for deploying the application and making sure all the security is out there. So when in a traditional CI/CD pipeline, you mainly have like 5 components. The first and foremost, you have a cloud service provider, which can be of 3. There's AWS, Azure, or Google. And then you have your Jenkins clusters, which connect to your cloud services, and they provide a way for developers to deploy their pipelines to your cloud service provider. And as a developer, this is where I come into the picture. This is like what we're responsible for. Our team is responsible for maintaining and enhancing the deployment pipelines for our application. We're not responsible for other teams' applications, but we do have a node on their Jenkins cluster where our application gets deployed. Both the C# and the React code, both of them, they get deployed through here. And then you have the AWS CloudFormation, which like spins up the actual resources. And this is where like the billing team and the cloud team, they come together, and then they set budgets. They set resources that we're allowed to allocate in here. So they do have a lot of control. But the point of I was trying to get at is it has at least like 3 to 5 different components, and each of these have like 3 or 5 teams, each one. So the cloud service team would have like 3 or 4 people who are like responsible for maintaining the accounts, getting in touch with everybody. The cloud service provider, you have the Jenkins cluster team. And then, so it is a lot. It is a lot. This is the traditional CI/CD pipelines most enterprises deal with, and it's like maintained by at least like 100 people minimum. So there can be problems with that type of approach. First and foremost, it's hard to maintain. You also have scalability issues where maintaining the infrastructure, it's hard. It's hard to scale up and scale down depending on demand. So say, for instance, you're expecting high demand, you allocate a lot of resources, right? But during those low demand times, you're still getting charged for those gigabytes of memories that you guys are using or that the development team is using. So it can cause problems. You also have like version mismatching. It's just a headache. It's just a headache because you have like, there's a lot of different code and code types that are all just like integrated and working together. You have the AWS CLI that's connected to the Jenkins, which is running some groovy, Java code in here to deploy your application, and it's a lot. So enter the picture of serverless. So serverless, the idea is not new. The idea has been around for a while. Serverless came around, I'd say, when like the Docker and containerization really took off. Then these big cloud service providers really got the hang of it and decided to, make cloud provisioning easier. And all serverless is taking that to the next level. But serverless does not mean your code is not running on a server. It is, but you're not maintaining that server. You're not like, you're not dealing with the networking issues. You're not dealing with security issues. You're not dealing with memory allocation, and there's no physical hardware that you're dealing with. Your code is going to be running on servers like these professionally built servers on AWS or GCP. Vercel is one good company I'd like to highlight. Vercel really got their footing when they developed the React. You know how React is a library? They developed a framework called Next.js, and that's kind of where they got their footing off of. And then they spun off into a company, and then they really took it off. I really like Vercel because it's simple and efficient to use. It's one-click deployment. It has seamless integration with GitHub, and the graphics are just beautiful, And I'm going to show you guys a little demo at this point about Vercel, all the different templates that you guys can choose from, and and yeah, how you can deploy. So at this point, I'm just gonna jump into the demo. So to get started, you would want to go to Vercel.com, and this is their main website, their splash screen. And you can tell that they're getting up there. It's a large company. They're being used by Fortune 500 companies. A lot of companies are using these guys, and their popularity has just skyrocketed. Their website is very beautiful. It's very seamlessly integrated with GitHub, and I'll show you guys that. Of course, they have this very beautiful globe that you can spin, which I really like. And so for the free, they do have different paid accounts. I'm using the free one. It's a hobby account. They allow you up to 2 million hits a month. 2 million hits a month. That is a lot. That is a lot. That's like your website has just exploded at that point at 2 million hits. So it's a really, their pricing thing is really, really good. This is the one I use for both my personal work and professional. I don't even need to pay for this, but jumping to this one would be super easy if my website were to ever pop off, So we're gonna jump into a demo. I'm gonna try to deploy, one of their templates. You can just click on their templates, and they have all these beautiful templates that you guys can choose from, and it's very, very it's very beautiful, the way they designed it. And just know that, unlike the traditional, here, come here to build a website on our website, unlike those websites that help you build a website, this one you have full access to the source code. It's connected to your GitHub. I'm gonna show you guys all this. It's connected to your GitHub, and it's you have full access. You have full access to modify it, to do whatever you want with it. So in our demo, we're gonna deploy a ChatGPT AI. So they have all these different use cases. We're gonna choose the AI one. Let's find the movie recommender. All right, we have a movie recommender. And this is how all their templates start off with, how it works. And they have a how to run it locally. But they also have a cool check out the demo kind of scenario. So you can just click it. And then, so this is a movie recommender, and it uses ChatGPT to help you recommend a movie for you. So just to show you the little demo of what it can do. So I'm gonna describe a movie, Inception. I'm gonna describe that movie, but I'm gonna describe it terribly. I'm gonna, a team of people who travel into your mind to steal your ideas. If you try to Google this, probably Google will just give you a million examples, but let's see what ChatGPT can recommend for me based on a movie, and it's a drama, and it's a team of people who can travel into your mind to steal your, let's say, your secrets, to steal your secrets. I'm gonna say curate my list. And there you go. So the first one it got was this Inception, and this is using OpenAI's ChatGPT in the background to fetch movie recommendations for you, and then show you guys using IMBD to fetch these pictures. And I really like this website. I like the functionality of it. I want to, keep developing this website. So how can I do that? So in order to do that, you just click this deploy button. So I'm logged in already. You just click the deploy button. It asks you, hey, name this repo something. We're going to call it GPT movies. Yeah, let's make it a private repo. We're going to click create. And it's as, okay, so it's already exists. Okay, I didn't delete my GPT recommends. All right, we're going to call it that. And then we're just going to click create. So what this is doing is it's connecting to your GitHub account, and it's actually creating that initial commit for you. It's it's copying the source code, and it's committing that source code for you. See how it, so this is the one it cloned, not even cloned, it forked, and then it's trying to deploy it for you. Obviously it's going to fail, because if we go back to the, you do need one thing on there. We are missing the API key that is required. The how-to guide shows you how the missing API key. So all you have to do is just go back to our deployments. We have this GPT recommends project here. We're going to go into the settings, And then we're gonna find the environment variables, and it needs 2 environment variables, it said. The first one it needs is the OpenAI key. And if you guys haven't checked out OpenAI, you guys have to really check out OpenAI. They have this little playground thing you can play with. But more than that, they have all these AI tools that you guys can use. And GPT, I think, is it's using one of these. This project is using one of these AI tools to recommend that movie for you. So we're gonna go back. It just needs an OpenAI key. You can get the OpenAI key simply by going into your account and then going into your view API keys. And if you guys are going to school, or if you are in a school, I would definitely take advantage of that as a student. You guys have resources to a lot of stuff. Obviously, OpenAI is free for everyone and paid as well, but you have access to AWS, you have access to Google Cloud Provider. They want you guys to get used to their tools, so when you do come into the work field, you recommend them. So take advantage of that. They do have a lot of recommendations. So I already have the API keys here, so I'm just going to paste it in here, and we just need one more API key. And obviously in production instances, these API keys in real life, they rotate. So, usually once a week, once a month, we generate new keys. So we click save. We saved our environment variables. Here it is. Those are the 2 environment variables. It's for development, preview, and production. So all 3. All we have to do is go back to our deployments. We see that we do have 1 deployment, and we're just going to click redeploy. Redeploy with existing, we just click redeploy. So right now it's redeploying the application, is building it up again, but now this time it's using the correct API keys. So what I'm showing you guys right now, it took a lot of the complexity away. There is no Jenkins pipelines. There are no Groovy Grails projects you have to connect to. There are no AWS consoles you have to check out. The website is ready, it's in production, and it took literally 16 seconds to deploy. And yeah, we can check it out. It gives you a URL, a free URL. It always appends .vercel.app to your URL, but it gives you a free URL. You can check it out. This is my version of the website, the GPT recommends, and I have full access to the source code. Again, we could check out the functionality again. Let's try to describe it a different way. A team who travels, a team who gets stuck in a dream trying to steal people's secrets. It's a terrible, terrible description of the movie, but let's see if it recommends it again. Inception, ChatGPT, and then that's the amazing part about it. So a lot of the cool functionality that's coming out with ChatGPT, it's like just connecting APIs to it. This guy, he's able to connect a ChatGPT with and the cool part is you can check out, it's connected to your GitHub, so you can check out your GitHub, you can check out the initial commit. So this is the code, you have full access to the code. So this is the GitHub code, and it's a Node.js application, and yep. So this guy connected ChatGPT with another service for the movie recommendations, and he's just taking the response from that movie service and then running it through ChatGPT to give you an answer. And a lot of the tools that are going to be coming out related to AI are going to be centered around AI processing, API responses. And that's what this website is doing. And it's a great example of that, because it's taking something that's very generic, like human input, humans very error prone, and and then it's taking this and running it through ChatGPT and getting a recommendation, and then taking that recommendation that ChatGPT gives it and then passing it to the IMDb movies to fetch the images and the ratings and all that. So it's a really nice website. And all that is possible because of Vercel. So check out the website. Everything on here is serverless. Of course, the idea of serverless means your code is static based. It's not running or provisioned on a server, and you're not getting really charged for it. I do have my main website on there as well. you guys can you can set up a main website, and then obviously you can also like forward your domains. So I have my real domain forwarded to this website, and yeah, and this is like completely serverless, and it's using like one of the templates that I found on there. So definitely check it out. I really recommend Vercel. It's a great introduction into the entire Vercel serverless, and serverless has a lot of different meanings. Depending on what type of application, but the main point is that you're not maintaining your servers. Of course, this has issues in terms of like data breach is an issue because everything has become centralized. All a bad actor needs is one entry point to get access to it. I think that's how the GTA 6 code leak came out. This is because a bad actor had access to one of the developers' accounts, and because he had that single access, he was able to gain like full access to their Bitbucket account and pull in their code and do whatever he wants with it. That's the only really downside. It has the pros and cons to it as well. With everything being centralized, your code is less likely to Alfonso.
Yeah, quick question. So this is to kind of start you off on like developing your web application. So it kind of just like speeds up the process.
Vercel?
Yeah, Vercel, and just like, do you kind of use that template to build off of it and then do your own thing, or how does it? What's the
Exactly. Yep.
Wow.
Vercel, you pick one of their templates. You could go to their main website, Vercel Home. You pick one of their templates, and these templates are different in terms of like you have full access to the code. They're all like under they're not under a license, is what I was trying to say, and they all have like best practice. That's the difference between starting something from scratch and starting from other people's code. Is they give you the best practice. This is like how to deploy a node application, a specific node application. I'm not exactly sure which one this one is. It's a Byte. It's a Byte application, node application, and they give you the best practices. They give you the structures and everything. And yeah.
Are there like limitations or like drawbacks from like starting from a template versus starting from scratch?
No. If you have like a particular idea and you have like I think I always feel it's better to start from a template, just because you have, unless like the framework or the library you're working with really well, and like the project structures really well, it's always better to start with a template and then modify your way into it. And they do have like simple templates as well that you can start from. But the main point is like these routes, like the project structure, these are important because this is how it tells like the routing for Vercel to go to these different endpoints. So you have the get media details, and then you have the get recommendations. And if you don't put them in these folder structure, then Vercel wouldn't really know. So just like, like to begin with, and they do have like, when I say a lot of templates, they have like a lot of templates, and they all have different use cases, some of them more complex, some of them more simple, some of them are just like wireframes, you can start from. And yeah, it makes development a lot faster. And I feel like this is the biggest selling point too, because aside from like, making this entire thing into a single website, they turned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different job functionalities and like 100 people worth of like 100 people's worth of code into a single website. Into a single website.
That's amazing.
Yeah. They made and the crazy part is like the version mismatching and all these complexities that I've talked about are completely non-existent. The code maintenance, version mismatching, rollback issues. If I wanted to ever roll back my website and I found a bug or anything, you see all these different builds, you just click one of these and then you click promote to production and it's back on there. If you wanted to do this through Jenkins, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. You have to go through RFCs and all that. So they got rid of all that and turn it into a beautiful website. So definitely check out Vercel. I recommend that. Really, and it's not particular to just websites. It has Python code as well. So like for this one, this Instabot one, it's a Python code. If I can go to the main branch. Yep. So it's an index.python. So you're not like particularly limited to JavaScript. They also have Python. They also support all those different frameworks that I was telling you about, the different frameworks. These are all the different frameworks they support. Well, these are the templates for the website. So these are the frameworks that they support, but they also support like, there's Python. They also support C#. No, but the major ones they do as well. So check out Vercel. It's a really, really good website, and it's taken off. The traction for it has taken off. And yeah.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Yep. Go back to that data breach. That's the only downside, is everything is centralized and there's only one entry to for a bad actor. But because everything is still like, dependent on encryption, only you have access to your encryption key. So usually it's like you create an encryption key and then you provide the public key to AWS or to whoever is encrypting your key and whatnot, and you go from there. But in summary, this is a new world. We're headed towards a serverless. Everything is becoming like, like this, professionally managed. You're not maintaining a server on your own. You no longer have to do that. There's a company who's dedicated to that in terms of security, in terms of networking. All that is kind of like taken away. And so with that, AI and ChatGPT, we are headed towards a brighter future with servers that look like these. So that's all I have for the workshop. Definitely check out Vercel. Like I said, it was as simple as that. You just literally create their account. It is free, no credit card or anything required. Unlike GCP and all these that, like, they need a credit card on file. You just go to vercel.com, go to their templates, choose a template, log in with your GitHub account, and then it'll just deploy that template into your GitHub account. And then most of the websites, they have a getting started where you can just read the description of what it needs. So this one needs, a MUX private key and a MUX signing key. MUX is probably like some video streaming or something. And this is the quickest way to, build a website. And unlike like those traditional websites, they have like Squarespace and all these. They'll let you edit the website, like you get to click on this and you will have like the ability to edit like text on it, but it doesn't give you access to the source code. And then that's the difference between Vercel. Is like they give you access to the source code inside your own private repo. They give you the full access to the source code. So check out Vercel. I highly recommend it. And thank you for coming to the workshop.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna end the recording. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna provide this to Robert. I'll provide it to Robert, the slides, and you guys can check out the slide and check out Vercel. I'd definitely say, and then you'll get introduced to the whole idea of serverless and what it truly means. Obviously, I'm using it in like a bigger context. Serverless also has like for the front end, like for front end code, it has a lot of functionalities. It has a lot of meaning to it. Like my main website, it's all pre-rendered. Like when you go on this website, all the functionality is pre-rendered. All the APIs are pre-rendered. The APIs are going through my service. You guys don't have access to those API calls. So this whole website is being pre-rendered, and I'm not calling it API, that's like the power of serverless. Is like it allows you to do server-side rendering, which means just like hit whatever API calls you need to make in the back end, but not provided to the end user,
So I have a question,
Mhm.
because like this is really cool. Like I didn't know you could use it. Like it speeds up the process a lot. So if you have an idea and you want to like launch a website, and you can go to Vercel, pick out a template, and then kind of use that as like your starting point to build off of that. Would you recommend like focusing on the front end first and then, or the back end, or like trying to learn both? Because like, I guess I'm trying to ask, like, what's the best way to like unlearn how to like use all these technologies and be proficient in like scaling your website?
Exciting times coming up, man. Exciting new ways to do stuff. I don't know if you guys, I'm on the current wait list for this one. Copilot X is coming out. And it's a game changer. It's definitely a game changer. But this is going to be the new AI that's Microsoft has introduced. They made the announcement, I think, like 2 days ago or something. And I'm on the wait list. They got people on the wait list. Right now, it's just a regular Copilot that runs on your your Visual Studio. If I have one open, which is this little guy right here. But this guy is getting an update, and he's getting bigger and better. And yep, so they'll be able to do a lot of the code explanations for you, and it's beyond words what this thing will be able to do. You can literally ask it questions. You can just talk to it, ask it to explain different kind of code. I checked out a couple of YouTube videos that show you, like, let me see if I can watch the demo. Where does this variable visibility work in Python? So you just literally ask it questions about your code, and so if you wanted to learn like how like all this code works, that Copilot is like the best way. So if I go to this recommendation, go to our initial commit, if you wanted to learn like how all these codes are fitting together, that extension is going to come out, and it's going to help you tremendously, because all you would have to do is just like the way the demo it was working was so all you would do is just like ask it questions, like probably like highlight this part and just right click and just ask it a question, on exactly what that code is doing. But in terms of like your question was like, how do I get started? How do I get started on Vercel? Or
No, I mean, like, do you recommend like really focusing on like JavaScript first, or?
yeah, JavaScript is not going nowhere. JavaScript is not going nowhere. JavaScript is like a main backbone of the internet, I'd say. Our entire company, we have like, some Java applications and C# applications, but they're moving away from that. We're no longer like adding new functionality to that. Everything is moving towards JavaScript.
Wow.
JS and so JavaScript is not going away. It's a big player now. It's doing a lot of server codes now. We're moving away from .NET just to pure JavaScript. And like, let me see if this has functionalities.
So AI is not necessarily like taking coders' jobs away. It's actually just making our jobs easier.
Yeah, it's going to make our jobs easier. It's not at that level, and it's not going to be at that level for many years. And like I said, like the industry, it evolves with it, so it's going to be there's going to be less boilerplate code, like all this boilerplate. Like if somebody told me to start from a project from scratch, and I had to write all these boilerplate codes, and all this, like it would take me some time. It would take me some time to write all these configurations. And that's what Vercel really excels at more than ChatGPT. Is like they give you the best example, like best practice example with all those templates that I showed you guys. With all these templates that I showed you guys, they show you how to like pre-render these images so your website loads faster. There's a lot of concepts and ideas, not just the layout that you're getting it from it, but how to like manipulate data, how the state management is structured. It's they have a nice templates. They have some really nice templates. I thought I had it here, but definitely check it out. And I actually got recommended to this one through another YouTuber, like one of those YouTubers that I follow, and everybody's just raving about this specific company is because they're the main maintainer of Next.js, which is just like a React framework. React is just a library, it's just a files, but this one structures your React and puts it in a certain format. And that's what Next.js is. We're using it in a company, in an enterprise level. We're using their Next.js framework. So they're really taking off. And I believe, like, in the future, AWS console is just gonna be like the service provider, but companies like these, Vercel and And other companies like that are really going to be like that middleman, you know. That's going to make our jobs easier. And then all we have to do is focus on writing the cool parts of the website and less like maintainability and websites, you know.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm looking at this right now, I'm like tripping because I feel like you can like, you have an idea, you can build a website, even a company, like right off the bat.
Yeah, yeah, they really they took a lot of the complexity out. They took all of the complexity out. If you know how to code, you know how a Node.js project works, you'll really find this website really useful because they have tons of templates with different frameworks. So if we just wanted to use React, they have all these React ones. And if you wanted to use Next.js, you could use the Next.js ones. Next is different than Next, but they have all these different frameworks. This is the Next.js one. This
So I
is
guess
the
that's I guess that's like my next question then, because I know that you said that JavaScript is like the where to focus for the language, but would you recommend like learning and like understanding Node.js really well so that you can be like fluent in how these websites are working? Or yes, okay.
well, I would. Like I said, these are like the front end applications, right? But they also have like the ability to deploy back end. It's the same procedure. All you would need is just that. All you would need is just that server.js file, and then you can completely. Here it is. I'm pretty sure you guys seen this in your like personal project, like that server.js file. Yep. So you have access to a server.js file, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You don't have to like you don't have to display anything. You know, it can be completely serverless, where the final build, and all serverless means is just like the final build. This build project that got built, it's a static content, and it's just waiting somewhere. It's a file that's just waiting for somewhere. So as soon as you hit it, as soon as you request it, right, it just gives you back this file. That's all serverless means. You know, it's not actually like, it's not actually running. It only runs when it gets hit. You know, a lot of that provisioning, all that stuff is taken care of for you. But yeah, definitely, I'd say JavaScript is the way to go in terms of just like learning how the Node.js works, how the Serverless.js works, and how to deploy a service application would go a long way, because that is the future. Our company is moving away from anything to do with like maintainability of servers. Anything to do with that, we're moving away from it, going completely serverless. They don't want to maintain C#. They don't want to maintain Java applications. They don't want to maintain a lot of the old and heavy frameworks. They just want to choose one, and they chose JavaScript, and that's where we headed. So I definitely recommend JavaScript.
But you still have to deploy this, right?
Hmm?
You get this serverless template, but then you still need to deploy it like using like something like AWS or no?
Our job, or using Vercel?
So Vercel actually is the one that like actually, so serverless, it actually hosts the website. Like you can like deploy it and have it online, people using it.
Yep. In a few minutes. I think I had a demo I was going to show you guys, but it just got a Dollygram. I made this demo for like, you know, this the project's a little bit more advanced. It's an image editor kind of website where you can click on an image, it loads the image, and then you can you know, modify certain aspects of it. But like the image editor, I'm not using Dolly because Dolly is like, you know, the paid one, right? Dolly is the paid one, but you can edit this image, and then you can just like give it a different sort. Probably the API key expired. Let me see if I have it locally. But yeah, it allows you to like to start all that. Like, and I didn't start this website from scratch. Like I just took one of their templates, right? They had like a nice gallery one that I found, right? And I was like, okay, I like this gallery one. I'm gonna make it an image editor. And then that's how I got my footing. It's like I started with theirs, but then I turned it into an image editor where when you do click on an image, it brings up this image editor where you can like spray the images, and then you can edit. Let me see if I can show you. The only reason I didn't want to like show it in the demo was because you know, the whole image generation is still like very early stage, I'd say, and it can be a little creepy, you know, in some instances. So I did not want to show none of that, you know, I kept all that. But if we want to make this like Naruto's face or something, you just highlight this, paint it like that, and then just say Naruto. Let's see what it does. Okay, it's sort of, I turned down a lot of settings. It has a lot of different settings and whatnot that you can modify. But yeah, and this is just using exact same, like, you know, I found a template. I just clicked the template and I modified the template. And now I got a completely serverless image editor. And we can turn this into a lion or something instead of a cat. And this would have took me a long time to get this website up and the functionality up, but because I was using Vercel, serverless, I did it. The hardest part was just writing the, like, you know, this little UI thing that paints stuff on it. A lion in a spacesuit. Okay. But it has a lot of different settings, so you can, like, you know, play around with it. I can also provide this one. I did not want to demo it because it can, this one is the masking one, but it can get really, like, really creepy when you click the erase one. Let me see. That is that one bug where, like, if you refresh, it does lose the session, but this image editor, like, this is using Stability AI's image editor. So a lion in a space suit. Yeah. Some of them could just get random like that. I don't know if a lion.
What's the blue bar for?
Oh, like the width.
Oh, the width. Gotcha.
Yeah. It didn't really. They have other tools. Firefly came out. The big boys started coming out with the nice tools. Avatar, The Last Air, and The Last Air Bender. Okay, sorta.
Dang.
Sorta, kinda. I guess the other one is better with the.
This stuff is wild, man. I feel like all you really need to do is like sell. Like,
Yeah. Selling that part is no, the AI has just it really, this is about to take off, man. There's a lot of, there's going to be a lot of ideas coming out. I had this idea, and then like 2 days ago, the thing came out. Firefly, Adobe Photoshop, which is Firefly, they came out. They have their own image editor now. That could get creepy. But Firefly, the professionals are coming out. You know, they're taking a lot of these, like, you know, weirdness away from it. Firefly Photoshop. You can check out, like, if you're really into like photo editing and all that. Adobe, was it photo? And also Bing has their own. Firefly has one, and then Bing has their own as well. Their little image create. So you just go to Bing/create, and then you can just type in anything, a basketball player dunking on. And then they're using Dolly in the background. So a lot of tools. It's a new wave, a new revolution of applications are about to come out, and people are going to get creative with it and all that. But the big players are all starting to come in, and they're not afraid. That's the crazy part. Like, some of these like text image generator, it can get really creepy, like have random limbs like this guy, you know. I see one where like, yeah, like 3 hands, you know, and this is Microsoft. This is Microsoft that's like, you see this guy, he has like 3 hands. You see this? He has a third hand. You see this invisible hand? They don't really care. They just wanted to get it out there so people can improve. And then that's how tools improve. It's like the more people that use it, you know, the more the better it gets. So it's whoever's first to the market. And yeah, Bing is definitely taking care of business with this one. And then they have the Copilot X. That's the thing I'm waiting for. That's the thing I'm most excited for. And that's the thing that's going to have the biggest and most immediate impact on my job functionality as a developer is that tool, the Copilot tool. So I definitely check out Copilot and Vercel. I think those are the 2 tools that are going to be, they're definitely going to have an impact on developers' lives. You know, every developer uses Visual Studio, and this is a Visual Studio helper. So everybody's going to be using it.
Do you install this on VS Code?
Yep. GitHub Copilot, and it's really well integrated to GitHub because Microsoft owns GitHub and they own GitHub Copilot. So the Microsoft has been making a lot of good moves. They have been making a lot of good moves. But hey, if there's no more questions, feel free to drop anything in the Slack channel. If you do have any other questions or anything that you're interested in, and yeah, thank you guys for coming to the workshop, and have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, bye.